I want to discuss two different ideas with you. The first one is oralism, and the second one is speech skills. I've noticed quite a few people saying that within the deaf hood, people are against oralism. They're against deaf people who are able to speak. They're against hearing people who are able to speak. And they're against English as a language itself. It's fine to be against oralism. I had read a book, and it was explaining about how the system has just gotten so awful because of oralism. Back in 1985, there was a huge change where those who were able to speak decided to use less sign language and to sort of get rid of it, or they just sign just a limited amount. And the other word that I want to discuss is autism, which pertains to oralism. People think that if you're against oralism, that speaking is wrong, which is not true. They're two different things. So speaking speech skills is when you're able to speak, just this right here, just speaking. And that's fine, that's okay. What's wrong with that? If you're hearing, then you're going to speak, that's fine. And if you're deaf and you sign and you speak, that's fine. Some deaf people, they acquire how to use English syntax by involving themselves with hearing people, and that's fine. That's not a problem at all. But the issue is the deaf person's attitude. Those who are able to speak think that they're better than those who sign. And it's because majority of the people in the world are able to speak. A.G. Bell had a quote saying that if you sign, it's okay. But speaking is what's used within the majority of the world. So those deaf people try to involve themselves with the hearing world so that they can speak more, and they look down on those who don't speak and just sign, which is autism, and it pertains to oralism. Some people grew up learning how to speak, and they enjoy speaking, and that's fine. There's not a problem with that at all. But how many hours of practice do you do learning how to speak, practice speaking, versus practicing and involving yourself in the deaf community to improve your skills? If your speaking is just way much better than your signing skills, then that's wrong. Your signing skills should be better than the way that you speak. It doesn't matter if you grew up speaking, but supporting oralism is not right. We should get rid of it. But if you're speaking and signing are two different things. If you're hearing, that's fine. For example, if you stay on the street, and there are both hearing and deaf people who stay on the street, and you all have to get together to discuss an issue which doesn't pertain to hearing or deaf, and you have to meet with the city officer, but he doesn't know sign language, but everyone else on the street knows it, whether you're hearing or deaf, you know sign language. But the officer still doesn't know sign language. And you may need an interpreter, and you tell them to go ahead and speak, that they can just use their voice. And I've been seeing this issue happening for a while. Many parents and children who are able to speak and they are involved within the hearing community is fine. But the problem is that when you start to forget your native language, which is sign language, and you're just not using it, that's when the problem occurs. And this is called autism. These two are very different. Oralism is something that you should not support or encourage other people to support. We should get rid of it. Knowing how to speak is fine, but you should never feel like you're above someone because you're hearing or you're deaf or because you can sign or you can speak. You should always feel you should never judge other people. If you don't know sign language and you want to be involved within the deaf community but you don't know the language, it's fine, you can learn it. But if you refuse to, why is this reason? And that's an attitude that's not accepted in the deaf community. It's very wrong. Those who support oralism never feel like they're equal to everyone else. They always feel like they're better than those who just sign. And it's our duty as a deaf community and as a world to get rid of oralism. We need to get rid of it. So those who are able to, and hearing people to get rid of speaking, that would be such a silly thing to ask for.